What's up, guys? Welcome back to Van TV Media, guys. If you're new, please just consider subscribing to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do post any story, you'll be the first one to view. We have a good news from the same region in African continent, whereby we've seen Chad has now decided to join the Sahel states. Chad has now agreed to join the Sahel state EAS alliance, whereby EAS alliance is a collection of 3 countries: Bukinafaso, Niger, and Mali. So, if Chad will join the alliance, we will be having 4 countries in this Sahel state, whereby the leading country that is doing best, be admired of, to make other countries to like to join the Sahel state is Burkina Faso, where the leader is Ibrahim Traore, where the leader is the guy whom people here in Africa are admiring to have as their president. So Chad has seen the progressive that it has been taken by these 3 countries, the 3 countries that are in this states.
Move that has reverberated across the African continent like a thunderclap. Chad's president Mahamat Idris Deby Itno has stunned the world with a historic declaration. His nation is seeking to join the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, the revolutionary coalition of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This announcement, coming just weeks after Deby's high-profile visit to Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso in early 2025, marks a seismic shift in the Sahel's geopolitical landscape. It signals Chad's intent to align with a movement that has become a beacon of hope for millions of Africans disillusioned by decades of neo-colonial exploitation, corrupt leadership, and the abject failures of regional bodies like the African Union, AU, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The AES, forged in September 2023 through the Liptako-Gourma Charter, is not just a regional alliance, it is a pan-African clarion call for sovereignty, self-reliance, and unity. As Chad takes its first bold steps toward joining this transformative bloc, led by fearless visionaries like Burkina Faso's captain Ibrahim Traore, the Sahel is emerging as the epicenter of a revolution that is embarrassing corrupt African leaders, inspiring millions, and achieving what the AU has failed to deliver for decades. Chad's decision to pursue membership in the AES is a powerful rejection of the neo-colonial order that has long suffocated the Sahel. Presidential advisor Ali Abdelrahmane Hagar, in a candid interview with Sputnik, laid bare the deep cultural, historical and socio-political ties that bind Chad to its Sahelian neighbours. Chad shares the same cultures as its neighbours in the Sahel region, Hagar declared with conviction, emphasising the shared heritage of the people straddling Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali. What is happening within the AES countries interests us in more than one way. They are committed to a path of intense sovereignty and the fight against poverty. His words resonate with a growing sentiment across the continent. The AES is not just a political alliance but a movement to reclaim Africa's destiny from the grip of foreign powers. Hagar outlined a vision of what Chad's integration into the AES could achieve. Transformative infrastructure projects like road construction, oil transport networks, and the establishment of free trade zones. These initiatives, he argued, could unlock the economic potential of the Sahel, a region rich in resources but crippled by underdevelopment and foreign exploitation. Beyond economics, Hagar issued a scathing critique of inter-community conflicts, which he described as the hand of the foreigner and a deliberate tactic of neo-colonialism to sow division. These are wars that neo-colonization is bringing about, he asserted, pointing to the insidious role of external powers in destabilizing the region. His warning underscores the AES's broader mission: to unite African nations against foreign manipulation and build a future rooted in self-determination. This bold stance was foreshadowed on May 13, 2025, when Chad's Minister of Communications Gassim Sherif publicly expressed his country's desire to join the AES. I think it would be a good thing for Chad to join the alliance of Sahel states, Sharif stated, signalling a strategic realignment that has sent shockwaves through Western capitals. Chad, long a linchpin of France's neo-colonial influence in the Sahel, is now turning its back on its former colonial master, aligning instead with a coalition that has expelled French troops, nationalized foreign-owned resources, and challenged the hegemony of Western-backed institutions like ECOWAS. This move is not just a diplomatic pivot, it is a declaration of war against the forces that have kept Africa subservient for centuries. The significance of Chad's decision cannot be overstated. As a nation with a complex history of French influence and a strategic position in the Sahel, Chad's potential entry into the EAS could tip the regional balance of power. It would expand the alliance's geographic and political reach, bringing its population to over 100 million and its combined territory to more than 5 million square kilometers. More importantly, it would send a powerful message to other African nations. The time for subservience is over, and the path to sovereignty lies in unity and defiance. The EAS, comprising Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, has emerged as a powerful symbol of hope for Africans across the continent. Born out of a series of military coups between 2020 and 2023, the alliance was forged in response to the failures of corrupt, Western-aligned governments that allowed jihadist insurgencies to flourish, poverty to deepen, and foreign corporations to plunder Africa's wealth. In just 2 years, the EAS has achieved what many thought impossible. It has expelled French troops, withdrawn from ECOWAS, nationalized key industries, and begun building a framework for true regional integration. These actions have resonated with millions of Africans who see the EAS as a direct challenge to the neo-colonial order that has looted the continent's resources for centuries. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has become the heart and soul of this revolution. At just 35 years old, Traoré has captured the imagination of a generation, embodying the spirit of Pan-African giants like Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, and Patrice Lumumba. His leadership is not just a political stance, but a moral crusade to restore dignity to his people. "We do not ask that anyone intervene to affect our destiny," Traoré declared in a fiery speech, encapsulating the EAS's commitment to sovereignty. His policies, from nationalizing gold mines to investing in agricultural self-sufficiency, have delivered tangible results, inspiring Africans far beyond Burkina Faso's borders. Mali and Niger, led by Colonel Assimi Goïta and General Abdourahmane Chiani respectively, have followed Traoré's lead, reclaiming their nation's resources and restructuring their economies to prioritize local development. Niger, for instance, has become the fastest growing economy in Africa and the third fastest globally, driven by its nationalization of uranium resources previously controlled by French companies like Orano. Mali has reported significant military gains against jihadist groups since expelling French forces, debunking Western narratives that painted the juntas as reckless. Burkina Faso, meanwhile, has seen a surge in agricultural production and local industry.
So guys, as I have told you that these three countries are the only countries that are doing well here in Africa since they agreed to come up from the colonialism. They agreed to work together and get away those West countries that were discriminating them, that were exploiting them in terms of other countries coming into their countries and get those minerals that which are there in those countries, whereby you can get in Burkina Faso there was a gold. France was coming into Burkina Faso and mine gold, take away the all gold and go benefit itself, leaving the people of Burkina Faso having nothing to take on. You see, like Niger, you see some of the oil is there, but those countries that were coming in that country were mining oil, then leave people without having anything to take at their home. So they decided and came together to do what we call doing away with the colonialism power and decided to control themselves. That's why you can see the state is now doing well here in Africa than other states. So we are eager to see more countries coming together, more countries joining the Sahel region and overpowering those colonialism, where Ibrahim Traore is trying to influence all the nations which are in West region. You saw in every coast, when people heard there was a coup, most people were happy to see that the is in the sitting president of Ivory Coast is the one who was being used by the white. He's the one who was being used by Macron, the president of France, to trigger his 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 leadership in Burkina Faso. Is the one who was being used by Michael Langley to try and make sure that they have fight Ibrahim Traore in the manner the way they wanted. Like, so these three countries are the only countries that have peace, are the only countries that are the only countries that other countries are eagering to see and to have partner with here in Africa. So we people in Africa, we are praying that all countries are supposed to have the idea the way Sahel regions countries have idea and have decided to move out the colonialism, have decided to put people together as Pan-Africanism, so that we Africa can be in the same spirit and we Africa can prosper in all the developments which we incur to have it in here in Africa. You see, most of the white countries, they have so many races. You see America, where Donald Trump was elected in, he decided to deport all African people from America to their representative countries, so that America to remain with only white people. And you see what he did the other time, getting some of the white Afrikaners from South Africa, taking them to America, in claiming that those white people in Africa, those Afrikaners in South Africa were being killed, were being genocide, and the land was taken away from them. The statement that was cleared by some of the Afrikaners who are in South Africa, terming it like a lie, totally lie, whereby you saw Donald Trump showing up on evidence to the president of South Africa, who went to White House to discuss on the issue of genocide that was trending in America, more so in State House, in White House, about South Africa. So we African, we are supposed to come together, and we African, we are supposed to agree to work as a partner, so that we can conquer these white people and make sure that we are peacefully and we like each other. We are supposed to have the spirit of the of Gaddafi, whereby Gaddafi tried to spread Pan-Africanism here in Africa, tried to make sure that Africa is stable, it's on its own, tried to make sure that the people in Libya were not getting loans from other countries, other than using their own resources that which they were producing in from oil and from other resources that were there in Libya. So Africa are supposed to wake up, and Africa are supposed to liberate it from the white men who are triggering the function of Africa. And guys, just drop your comment and tell us, what is your opinion on Chad joining El Sahel region? What is your opinion on Chad joining EAS state? And let us meet in the next episode.